Across the tapestry of existence, two universes pulsed like colossal heartbeats. On one side, the Marvel cosmos rippled under the will of the mad titan, Thanos. On the other, the vast and tumultuous DC multiverse quaked with the unrelenting hunger of an abomination, hunter-prey Doomsday. Neither was mortal, neither was bound by the limits of nature. Both were inevitabilities, forces that only knew how to consume, conquer, or destroy. Thanos stood atop the throne of Sanctuary Theckened, the Infinity Gauntlet gleaming upon his hand. 6 stones, the power, mind, time, reality, space and soul, glimmered like captured stars, radiating a combined power that made even the Celestials bow in unease. With a single thought, Thanos could end galaxies, twist reality into an eternal nightmare, or silence the heartbeat of the cosmos itself. He had already slain pantheons, humbled abstract entities, and bent the fundamental constants of existence. Yet for all his triumphs, there was still an ache within him, an itch to test the absolute boundaries of his supremacy. The itch became a pull when the gauntlet flared unexpectedly. A rupture, a tear not of his making split reality, pulling his gaze across universes. In that widening wound, Thanos beheld something extraordinary, an endless wasteland, littered with the corpses of gods, Kryptonians, and apocalyptian soldiers. In the middle of the carnage was a single hulking form, scarred, jagged, unrelenting, Doomsday. This was not the Doomsday who once killed Superman and fell, only to return. This was the hunter-prey Doomsday, born from the cruel laboratories of Krypton, evolving with every death, immune to every defeat. Thanos observed him, crushing Darkseid's parademons without pause, shrugging off the dreaded Omega beams, and roaring in savage defiance to the heavens. Magnificent, Thanos whispered, a rare grin cutting across his grim face. Here was no ordinary beast. Here was no opponent to be swept aside with a careless flick of the wrist. This was a monster that represented something deeper, the inevitability of evolution itself, the raw defiance of life against extinction. Thanos' pulse quickened. For once, destiny had presented him with prey worthy of the stones. The gauntlet hummed, feeding on his curiosity. Reality shifted, and in an instant, Thanos tore open the veil. He stepped across dimensions and emerged into the DC wasteland. His arrival warped the skies crimson. Lightning stitched itself across the heavens, as if the universe itself recoiled from the meeting of such power. Doomsday turned. His bone-like protrusions glistened with dried blood, his crimson eyes flaring at the intruder. There was no recognition, no hesitation, only the primal instinct to kill whatever stood before him. With a guttural roar, Doomsday charged, the earth quaking beneath each thunderous step. But Thanos was calm. With a flick of the space stone, he shifted position, appearing directly in Doomsday's path. The Titan raised his gauntlet, and a single gesture flung the monster back with the force of a collapsing star. Dust and stone erupted, a shockwave flattening mountains in the distance. Impressive durability, Thanos mused, watching as Doomsday emerged from the rubble, unbroken and snarling. Doomsday lunged again, faster this time. The Power Stone flared, and Thanos met him with a punch that split the air. The impact was cataclysmic, sending shockwaves rippling through dimensions. Doomsday reeled but did not fall. Instead, his wounds closed instantly, his body already mutating to withstand the gauntlet's devastating force. Thanos' smile widened. You learn quickly. Good. It would be disappointing if you did not. As the battle escalated, the sky itself fractured. The Time Stone whirred, slowing Doomsday's movements, yet even slowed, the monster adapted, his body pushing through the temporal drag like a predator breaking chains. The Reality Stone reshaped the battlefield into a molten inferno, but Doomsday marched through the flames, unbothered, his jagged bones glowing like forged iron. It was then that Thanos realized this creature was more than brute force. Doomsday was an answer. Every strike, every wound, every manipulation made him stronger, faster, deadlier, where others faltered. Doomsday thrived. Where others perished, he evolved. But Thanos was no ordinary foe. He was inevitability given form. He was the master of death, armed with 6 fragments of creation. The two titans clashed again, their collision shaking both Marvel and DC realities. Entire worlds shuddered at the echo of their blows, and though neither had fallen, something undeniable was set in motion. This was not a battle of power, but of persistence. Could Doomsday evolve beyond the infinite? Or could Thanos bend even evolution to his indomitable will? And as the dust and fire consumed the horizon, the war between inevitability and evolution had only just begun. The wasteland trembled as the two forces of annihilation collided again, each blow tearing the fabric of reality, like fragile glass. The sound of their strikes echoed not just through the battlefield, but across dimensions. Suns flickered in distant galaxies, planets cracked under the vibrations of their fury. Entire civilizations in both universes felt a tremor they could not explain, as if the cosmos itself held its breath. Doomsday charged again, faster than any Kryptonian, his jagged bone spikes gleaming. He slammed into Thanos with such ferocity that the marred Titan was driven into the crust of a mountain. The shockwave disintegrated everything for miles, yet even buried beneath molten stone, Thanos was smiling. The gauntlet flared, and the Power Stone answered. Energy exploded outward, ripping the mountain apart as Thanos rose, his eyes blazing with grim satisfaction. "You are evolution incarnate," Thanos admitted, dusting debris from his golden armor. "But I am inevitability," Doomsday roared, the sound ripping across the sky like a storm. He leapt forward again, fists swinging with the weight of extinction itself. Thanos countered, using the Time Stone to accelerate his reflexes beyond mortal comprehension. He parried Doomsday's blows, each deflection ringing like a cosmic bell. Yet even slowed, even bent through time itself, Doomsday adapted, his body shuddering as he pushed through the distortion, claws slashing within a moment frozen for all else. Thanos grimaced. Few had ever resisted the Time Stone so quickly. With a wave of the Reality Stone, he turned the ground beneath Doomsday into a swamp of molten tar, dragging at the monster's legs, reshaping the sky into obsidian darkness. But Doomsday burst free, immune to the illusion, immune to the environment. His fists pounded forward, and one strike caught Thanos in the chest, hurling him through the horizon. The marred Titan landed hard, the ground cratered beneath his weight. He rose slowly, his armor cracked, his breath heavy, yet his expression remained composed. He willed the Soul Stone to peel at Doomsday's essence, searching for weakness, for some lingering fragment of vulnerability, but the Soul Stone wailed in silence. Doomsday was chaos incarnate, a creature beyond morality, beyond the tether of spirit. There was no soul to target, only the endless hunger to kill. For the first time a shadow of doubt crossed Thanos' mind, but he did not falter. Instead he summoned the combined might of the stones. The Space Stone folded reality, trapping Doomsday in a prism of infinite walls. With the Power Stone, he unleashed torrents of energy, bombarding the monster in every corner of the construct. Doomsday staggered, howling in defiance as his body cracked under the relentless onslaught. For a moment it seemed the gauntlet's might hold him. But then Doomsday adapted. His body shuddered, his spikes sharpened, and with a primal roar, he shattered the prison, tearing through dimensions themselves. He lunged through the rift and struck Thanos directly, sending the Titan crashing into a ravine. Thanos rose slowly, his lip bleeding, his gauntlet flickering from the strain. He wiped the blood with the back of his hand and whispered, "Yes, push me further." The battle became a storm without end. Each strike from Doomsday leveled landscapes. Each counter from Thanos rewrote the battlefield. Thanos turned rivers into molten fire. Doomsday marched through them. He froze time around the monster. Doomsday shook it off like dust. The gauntlet unleashed energies to erase him from existence. Doomsday's body twisted, immune to erasure, clawing his way back from nothingness. The clash stretched across hours, maybe days. Time itself was fractured. In one moment they fought in the void of space, their fists colliding with the force of supernovas. In the next they were buried in the heart of a collapsing black hole, locked in combat as the singularity screamed around them. Yet neither gave in. Finally battered and scarred, Thanos realized the truth. Doomsday was becoming something even the stones struggled to contain. Each tactic, each manipulation was fueling the monster's evolution. If Thanos faltered for even a second, the beast would ascend beyond his control. The Titan's jaw tightened. There was only one choice left. With a roar of his own, Thanos lifted the gauntlet high. Every stone ignited, each one blazing brighter than a star. The power surged through him, burning his veins, threatening to rip his body apart. His skin blistered under the sheer weight of infinite energy. Even Thanos, master of willpower, staggered, but he did not stop. He clenched his fist, and with a single terrible thought, he unleashed the combined omnipotence of the Infinity Stones. The universe convulsed, reality fractured into light. Doomsday was caught in the storm, his body shredded across infinite planes, his adaptations struggling against the full power of creation itself. He clawed, he roared, his defiance echoing across eternity. For a moment it seemed he might break free once again. His silhouette clawed out of the storm, jagged spikes reaching toward Thanos, but then the light consumed him, and Doomsday was gone. Thanos fell to one knee, his body trembling, smoke rising from his flesh. The gauntlet's glow dimmed, its jewels flickering weakly. He had won, but only just. His armor was ruined, his strength nearly spent. He looked at his trembling hand and whispered, "Even inevitability is tested." Across the battlefield, silence reigned. The wasteland that had borne witness to gods and monsters now lay in ruin. Thanos stood alone, victorious, yet scarred by the memory of a foe who had pushed him to the brink of annihilation. And though Doomsday was gone, somewhere in the fabric of reality, the echo of his roar lingered. For evolution never truly dies, but for now, the Infinity Stones had triumphed. Winner Thanos by the narrowest of margins,